All of the women in our Spurring Innovation panel are focused on creative evolution and advancing progress. Lisa McVey, Chief Information Officer, McKesson Corporation. Deborah Richardson, Executive Vice President, National Center for Civil and Human Rights. Teya Ryan, President and Executive Director, Georgia Public Broadcasting Media. And Beverly Guy-Sheftall, Founding Director of the Women's Research and Resource Center at Spelman College. Welcome.
Thank you.
So what drives you to continually push for evolution and advancement in your field?
I'll go first. So one of the things that's so important to us at McKesson is keeping focus to our customer as we're working to promote healthcare, and obviously staying connected with the business growth and goals and revenue. You know, for us, for me personally, healthcare is changing. For all of us as patients, healthcare is changing faster and in ways we couldn't have predicted. And then on the technology side of my job, technology is changing too, and quite frankly, even faster. So what I spend most of my time trying to do is bring those two worlds together. And that allows me to help work with the customers, help stay connected with the trends, stay with our business, and with the people that are doing the jobs to support healthcare.
In the work that I do, real lives are at stake. And whether or not is opening the first shelter for homeless women and children in the city when there was none, or addressing the needs of children who are sex trafficked every day in this country, I really had a lot in common with Mr. Portia. I looked around, nobody was doing it, and it had to be done. And so that is what drives me, because in a country as rich with resources and opportunities as ours, we should not have as many women and children specifically who are disadvantaged and have lack of access to opportunities.
What drives me? Fear. Fear of, in many ways, of not serving all of you right. Because I have an organization that in many ways is your organization. You participate every day in our success. We are a part of you in that we are a public service. And so innovation in many ways comes to me if I listen to you as my community. The most important connection I have, because public media is the only media that has this connection to the community. You know, we care about you. We care if your day is okay. We care if your kids are educated. We care if you get home on time. We care if you know about a pothole in the road. And so in many ways, the feedback I get from you and from the larger community is what drives my innovation. We certainly have overall challenges. I mean, certainly technology is a massive driver of innovation in our business. But fundamentally, the thing that pushes us forward is what we hear you need. What more do our kids need in the digital education world, where we're tops in that field at Georgia Public Broadcasting? What do you need to inspire you to know more about your own personal history? We can do that. What do you want to know more about that whale shark that's very distracting to me back there? Because we can tell you. That's what we do. It's the most exciting job on earth, I promise you. But that is how I'm innovative, is listening to you.
I happen to work at one of the most special, the most powerful spaces in higher education, and that is one of only 2 historically black colleges for women in the entire world. What inspires me is that I work in a place where I can channel my healthy outrage for all of the injustices in the world: racism, sexism, heterosexism, poverty, xenophobia, religious intolerance. And so as long as the U.S. and the globe is infected with these injustices, I will continue to do my work at a place called Spelman, who is dedicated to nurturing women who change the world. So that's what I plan to be doing for quite a long time.
Great, you're glad. You're glad you are.
So with that, how do you determine the next step for progress, and when do you act upon it?
The next step, I think, has to do with the goal in mind, starting with the goal in mind. What is it that I want to achieve? What is it that I want to lead people to do or inspire people to do? And then once you know your destination, then the strategies and the steps to get there, where they may not be as predictable as you had originally planned, at least you know the adjustments that you need to make in order to move toward that. So for instance, with the work that I have done around women and girls space, there has always been the amount of unpredictability in terms of whether or not the work was really meeting the needs of those intended for it to serve. And so, however, by asking questions, having a 360-degree feedback loop, so you're constantly assessing if what you're doing is having that desired impact, then you can keep moving forward in a way that gets you to where you want to go, at least in the short term.
You know, I think moving forward can be measured in many different ways. We've moved forward at GPB in the last few years in that we have literally doubled the way we determine a certain level of success, our ratings. So 50% more of you are watching and listening to us than you were 2 years ago. That means we're doing something right. And I remember when I was a young reporter, someone asked me, well, how do you know what a story is to cover? How do you know? How do you identify it? And I didn't have an answer. I just said, I just know. I just feel it. We just have a sense of it. And in many ways, that's how innovation comes to us in the media, is that you just know it when you see it. You're pushed by the technology, you're pushed by your community, you're pushed by the people who work for you. And by the way, 65% of my senior staff is women, and they push me because they naturally push themselves. And they are full of restlessness. We're in an extremely competitive industry. Media, we work hard for your eyeballs right now, and your ears, and your fingers. So in many ways, what pushes us forward is all of our competitors. We compete for many of the 24 hours in your day to get your attention in order to serve you, to let you know what we have. So I would say innovation comes at us from many different ways.
This question was really intriguing to me. So I think there's 3 words that really help me: fear, seek, and pursue. And my husband and I were having coffee on Sunday, and on the iPad came the daily devotional. And out of the Bible, there's a book called Judges. And the Lord had asked Gideon to put together a team of 32,000 warriors. So he came and brought 32,000. And the first thing that the Lord said was, those that are fearful and scared, you shall leave. Well, guess what? 70% left. Of the remaining, he said, the next thing you need to do is go down to the river and get nourishment, drink some water. So most of the men put their faces in the water and took the water in like a dog licks water out of their bowl. Some of them got down on their knees, took their hands as a cup, and started sipping water and looking around so that they could just observe. And so that really struck home to me, because keep in mind, those that were left, that's who became the warriors, and that was 1% that was left out of those 32,000 people. And so as a senior woman in IT, I feel like that 1%. And so what's really important to me is always being aware of my surroundings, things that are going on with the customer, business, things that are going on with the trends. And I have to act, I have to seek, and I have to pursue. And the one thing that if we're afraid and fearful, we'll be left behind.
Last question, what new development that you have helped bring about are you most proud of, and why?
I think I'm most proud of saying very proud and loud, and to as many people as I can, that public media counts. Don't let it go away. Don't let GPB go away. Thank you. I'll tell you a short story about that. About 6 or 7 years ago, the Discovery Network had a children's network called Discovery Children. And they sold a controlling interest in that, and there was no commercials on that channel, to Hasbro Toys. So that left only one place in the entire country where your children can sit in front of educational programming. That's us. And so I am so proud of the mission of what we do at GPB, because it is endangered in a way that I think affects all of us. Because my job is to partner with every one of you on this stage and in this room. I am your voice. I can talk to many different people about what you do. So I want to partner with everyone in this room so that you understand that we are your voice. We can help you speak to the people you want to reach. So I would say I'm most proud about spending hours and days of my time traveling the state, helping people to understand the importance of this great media form. And by the way, did you hear iPad and Bible? Now that's an interesting mix, right? You know, iPad and Bible. So that's the world that we're living in now.
There are some controversial and contentious issues within certain racial ethnic communities. And one of the projects that we at Spelman have been proudest about, because of the leadership of the Women's Center, is all of our LGBTQ work at Spelman and at other historical black colleges. We have been committed to making college environments at our institutions open to and safe spaces for all of our students. So as a result of a very generous Arcus Foundation grant for 5 years, we've been doing extremely important LGBTQ work, the only historical black college out there, and there are 105 of us who've been doing this very important, courageous work.
The work that the National Center for Civil and Human Rights does and will continue to do once our building is built and long into its future is around bringing the beloved community to reality. And it was the opportunity to work on this legacy project that brought me back to Atlanta. I have a very unique history in that I'm a native Atlantan, born during the Civil Rights Movement, 4 doors from Daddy King. So I saw the movement firsthand, and what that movement achieved in the world has inspired the work that I've done for the past 35 years. And so I feel it's my responsibility to continue that legacy forward. Not only will we be able to talk about the amazing impact that the Civil Rights Movement had on the world, we will also be able to connect it with contemporary human rights issues. And everything that we do in all of our works and all of our sectors have a connection to human rights. So the opportunity to bring that institution to fruition, an opportunity to know that the next generation would not only know about a history that's important to me, but also receive inspiration to move forward as change agents, to me is just life-changing.
Thank you, and congratulations.